So I'm gonna do it. Over this next year as a Columbia student, I'm gonna be making 8 films showing you what it's like in my life in an MFA creative writing program. The only thing left, see what happens next. So I want to address the last video, but the following clip in particular. Hey, so everything that I just told you is not actually the truth. I want to be clear. The first video I made, that's not the real truth. But more on that in a second. I want to bring up an idea that 2 very knowledgeable authors talk about. What to write about. First, On Writing by Stephen King. So on page 161, King has this quote that I really like. Write what you like, then imbue it with life and make it unique by blending in your own personal knowledge of life. I think that's really important considering what the next author has to say. In The Anatomy of Story by John Truby, he discusses 2 exercises that I find to be really helpful. First, the wish list. In this, you're supposed to write down every single thing that you love. In movies, media, books, music, anything. Your favorite characters, your favorite moments, anything that you can think of that when you think of content, you love it. I want to take Stephen King's advice and infuse it into this exercise. Create a third list of everything that you know. If you're a plumber, talk about the things you love about plumbing, things that you hate about plumbing, some of your stories from work. If you're a student, if you're a musician, everything that makes you distinctly you, because everyone is unique. So, what do I write about? I had the idea of writing a book following a fictional character who navigates a life inspired by my own life. We think the world is mundane, but there's so many moments of magic everywhere. We just have to notice them amongst all the noise. This is where Columbia's MFA program comes in. As I navigate these next 2 years as a student, there's going to be interesting things happening every single day. So, let's turn these ordinary events into something special. Let's dramatize the mundane. Let's turn the experience into a story. I was going to do it as a book, but I love filmmaking, and YouTube is a great platform. So, yeah, I did move to New York. Now, what I meant by the real truth, that first episode is part of a dramatized serial. This episode is going to be part of a sister Q&A series. An MFA is a huge commitment, whether financially or time-wise. The episodic series is supposed to entertain, to get you excited. But I don't want to spread misinformation. That's where this comes in, the Q&A series. This is supposed to tell you what it's actually like. The reason I went to Paris was to see my sister. She was doing a summer semester there, had been there for a while. I wanted to make sure she was doing all right. That being said, the whole thing about the crisis, I knew I was coming up here to New York. It's not really a decision. This is going to be one of those what ifs that if I hadn't taken it, it would have killed me for the rest of my life. I did study engineering at Virginia Tech. I was based out of Atlanta, but the reason I went to Alabama very consistently was because we had a lab there that I had to do testing at. My senior year was a tough time. The special effects opportunity was amazing. I have nothing bad to say about anyone I worked with. It's just showed me a truth that I wasn't ready to face, that the way that I thought I would get into a creative role wasn't the way that it was going to work out. Lastly, how did I get into Columbia? Well, normal people did plant the seed, and my classes did help water that passion. But as for how I actually got better at writing, I'll see you next time.